No.
Let's do this. What is up, guys? It is the Sports Star Bradley Walker. Excuse me, and welcome to the Walker Report, part of NGSC Sports, guys. Remember the website, it's ngscsports.com for all your current sports content. Sorry, guys, about my voice. I'm still getting over being sick.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, there we go. That's much better. Okay.
That's right.
All right. What's up, guys? Hey, how's it going, man?
Not too bad.
You know, it has been weird not to be able to not really have anything to watch with the NBA and NHL over. It's
Yeah.
like you can't, nothing left to watch anymore. So,
World Cup?
Yeah. Yeah, it's
the
been
World Cup. Well, Team USA plays tomorrow, right? Against Australia.
3 o'clock.
I don't know.
I haven't been paying too close attention. I'm not the biggest soccer fan, so
Yeah, me neither.
too close attention to who's winning and has there been any upsets. Yeah.
Well, Canada made a big comeback today. I mean, they have 5-0 over Qatar, who hosted the last World Cup.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Wasn't even a game, much.
Yeah, I don't care. I'll be glad when it's over.
It'll be over a win in a couple weeks.
Yeah, mid-July.
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 Yeah. Well, they expanded the tournament this time around. Instead of 32 teams, is now 48.
Oh, okay. So there's more countries involved.
Yes. Everybody's expanding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, everything's expanding for that matter. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I saw a thing the other day. This is day one of the U.S. Open.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
I can never remember what. The only one I know is the Masters. I can never remember any of the other names of any of the other tournaments.
PGA Championship, U.S. Open, and the British Open, which is now just called the Open.
Okay, gotcha. Well, this is the first. Today's was the opening of the U.S. Open or U.S. Champ, whatever. Anyway, before we get bogged down in the semantics, and we spent 20 minutes on that.
Right.
At Shinnecock in New York, right?
Correct.
Yeah, Long Island. Yes.
Okay. But in this is the 124th iteration of the event.
Something like that.
134th or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the 130th, 131st, something like that. And the very first one back in 1895 had say 30 odd players,
something like that.
And it was 4,425 yards, I think is what I remember seeing.
Yeah.
And this year's field features 160 players, 150 players, and it's over 7,770 yards.
Yeah. Well, don't forget, in the first one, there was still swampland from the dinosaur era too, so you had to factor that in.
True. You had to take a pterodactyl to get down to the course. So,
and back in that day, they played match play and not stroke play.
Right.
They've changed the format. When Bobby Jones played, it was what they called match play, like that they play in the Ryder Cup or the President's Cup,
right,
or the Solheim Cup. But they changed the format to stroke play. I don't know what year golf changed from match play to stroke play.
Probably the 20th century, some point.
There's a movie with Shia LaBeouf called, I think it's called The Greatest Game Ever Played.
Yeah.
About
Yeah.
an amateur golfer winning the U.S. Open at Brookline in Massachusetts, where he was from.
1920?
Something like that. He beat the top European player.
32? It might have been the early 30s, but I don't remember.
Let me look.
Because
At
I've seen the movie.
real
It's a
quick.
very good movie. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. If
Yeah, me
like
too.
golf,
It's one of my
you like
favorites.
golf,
Heard of it.
it's a good golf movie.
Greatest game ever played. Okay, is it biological about the 1913 U.S. Open?
13. Okay.
Francis Ouimet is the one. I think he might be the only amateur player ever to win. Well, no, Bobby Jones would have been one, but I think he was the youngest amateur to ever win the U.S. Open.
I think he was
so,
one
yeah.
of the first. He was the first amateur ever allowed to play, if I remember right.
Correct. I think this was before Bobby Jones's time. I
Yeah,
could be wrong, but I think
Yeah.
it was.
I left my other phone upstairs. I didn't even think about grabbing it. But yeah, I think so. Did you see any of the play today?
I did not, but I know they got delayed, and I have to write an article before I go to bed tonight for about round one, because that, when we're since I'm the golf expert on the website, they want me to do all the majors, and then Nicole couldn't come on because she's getting ready for the third women's major, which she's playing in, and she had to pack, and she said she was going to run late, and I'm like, hey, that's okay. How about we have you on afterwards, especially if you do well? I mean,
Even if you do badly.
Wouldn't it be the shit if she wins the damn thing?
If she won the whole damn thing, that'd be awesome.
That would be great. Yeah. So
I just wanted to make the cut. That's
me too.
That's what I'm hoping for.
I told her, I said,
yeah, we all do.
Good luck. Play well. Good luck, and you're come on the show after. If you make the cut, and we could talk about the weekend. Who you played with and who you got to play with. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just did it myself.
It's too bad because I was looking forward to seeing her again. We haven't had her on in a bit. So
yeah, I saw on her Facebook page she had won a tournament, and then it said that she was going to the women's PGA Championship, and I'm like, let's jump on that real quick.
Yeah,
interview her before she goes, and like I said, she was all game, and then like 2-3 o'clock this afternoon, she's like, I'm sorry to do this, but I'm running late coming home from work, and I got to pack, and I'm leaving early in the morning. I'm like, hey, I understand.
Yeah, totally.
No big deal.
Yeah.
It's not like,
we're small. We're small.
Yeah, we're not a big network or anything like that. So
we're small potatoes in a small pond, and it's not like we offered her money or compensation to appear on the show. So like we're not. It's not like we were paying her speaking fee. We gave her $3,000 to appear on the show or something like that.
Right.
So like, no, it's an open invitation. Anytime she wants to come on and hang out, whether it be the whole 2 hours and she wants to talk all sports with us, or if it's 20 minutes and she just wants to hang out and talk about her most recent rounds, then we're more than happy to have her on.
Yeah, that's right. That's what I told her today. I'm like, you can come on. She's like, I can only be on for 30 minutes. I'm like, you can be on for 15 if you want. If you got to get off, we're not going to hold you hostage and say, again, it's not like we financially told her, oh, well, we're paying you $3,000 to be on for an hour.
Yeah.
It's not like we have a contract where everything, so yeah.
And it's an open invitation to anybody who might be interested in coming on and hanging out.
Absolutely.
Reach out to us and let us know if you want to appear on the show. And like I said, we usually, if you have a question or a comment and you want to come on and ask it, you can ask your question and just get back off. Just shoot us a message.
Yeah.
We can open up the links to like non-traditional guests. If you're watching this and you like, oh, I'd like to hear their opinion on this, or I think they're a bunch of buffoons, and you want to come read us the riot act and give us a piece of your mind for 5 minutes, then we'd be more than interested in hearing what you have to say.
I can be honest with you. Of all the years I've done podcasting, I've never had a hater come on. I would love to have a hater come on sometime.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to verbally spar with somebody over.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it would.
I know me and Alex can go at it pretty good, but
yeah, I haven't heard too much from him in a while, so I hope he's all right. Not that I haven't reached out or anything like that. It's just that
he's
wasn't
he's active over on TikTok. I see him reposting things, so he's alive and doing all right. I suppose no news is good news in that regard, right?
Well,
I know his dad, I guess, in retrospect, ran away, and they were able to find him.
Oh dear.
And they got him into a assisted living facility. That was the last time I heard from Alex. That he told me thank you for reposting stuff on Facebook and social media to help get his dad back. They found his dad, which was good. I mean, obviously, if you lose a loved one, that's that's the number one thing is to get them back. So
I wish I had better news for myself, though.
Oh, wow. What's up, Lou?
Well, I found out a few days ago that my co-host Steve Davison passed away.
Oh no!
Oh, sorry to hear that, brother.
The thing is, I found out Monday night, but it turned out he passed away almost 2 weeks ago.
Ooh.
Oh wow! Oh man!
Oh yeah!
Was he? I mean, if you don't mind me asking, was he ill or?
Yes, he was. He was ill, and I know he was beginning to feel it because he didn't have this. He didn't have the same energy, when he came on towards his passing. He didn't have the same energy as he did when he always came on. He was very lethargic. He sounded very lethargic, and I knew he was sick. I'm like, this doesn't sound good. This doesn't look good. So I kind of knew some was up, especially when he didn't show up the last 2 weeks, and that was when he finally passed. And so, as sad as I am about this, was I surprised by it? Well, I hate to say it, but no, I was not surprised.
And I'll say condolence to him and his family, but at a certain point, when you're miserable and you know you're not going to get any better, it's better for it to just be over.
Yeah,
and be done with it. And,
well, he did try to keep his spirits up as much as possible, but
for sure.
Yeah, but I think I was sensing like, no, he's not well. He's not well.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but and it's like I don't wish ill on anybody, but when you're so far gone that sometimes it's just better to go, be done with it.
Yeah.
And then no, I understand that it's like people in your life will suffer, but then at a certain point, whether whether it was Gerald or or Lou, a couple of times when he's lost people and encouraging them to just to continue living.
Yeah.
And that's what I'll say. I know we don't talk about a little bit of everything around here, but mostly sports. And sometimes we get into the mental health stuff, and it's just grieving is it's tough, and and you take your time to grieve, but don't forget to live.
Right.
And
can I be honest with you, Bud? I remember when my mom passed away, and that's exactly what you said to me on here. I remember the very first show that I came back, and before Lou got on here, you were on here, Bud, and those were your words. Make sure you take time to grieve. But then again, like you just said, on the other hand, don't forget to live your life, because that person would not want you to be depressed and sad and not live life. My mom would not want me to be not doing what I'm doing and all that stuff. And
same with my dad.
I've heard many people tell me that since she's passed away, I've grown to a different person. And meaning that I've been able to do things and experience things that I may not have been able to experience with her still being here. And
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you right now, man. I don't think I ever would have gotten the chance, Bud, to meet you, because if she was here, she would have said, "Oh, you're leaving me by myself? What am I supposed to do by myself?" So that was one of those things that I've been able to do with the traveling, going to Vegas, going to Charlotte, going to Detroit, going to Europe, going, leaving the States, stuff like that. I wouldn't have been able to do that stuff if my mom was still here. I don't think. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't physically say that, but you're exactly right. You have to take time to grieve anybody that you lose, whether it's a family member, a friend.
Yeah.
You have to take that time to grieve. But then on the flip side of that, Adam's right. You got to give. You say, okay, that person was part of my show. They would want me to keep doing the show in their memory, saying, hey, this is what I'm dedicating the rest of this year's shows to this guy, because he was a part of my shows for so many years, and I want to dedicate it to him, and stuff like that, because that's what he would have wanted you to do. He would have wanted you to keep going in a way.
Yes.
Yep.
So I thoughts and prayers, Lou, for him and his family. Honestly,
thanks, guys.
Somebody like that. So, well, you got to be somewhat happy. Come on, Lou. The Knicks won a championship.
Exactly.
They finally ended their streak.
Yep. Since the Stone Age. Oh boy.
I was over watching the game, and when we left, the Spurs were winning. And I come home, and right before I went to bed, I said, you know what? I'm going to check ESPN real quick.
Yep.
And I turned it on, and they're up with like 4 seconds left. And I run in my girlfriend's bed and said, hey, they're going to win the championship. I want to see it. Put the phone on, and then they were able to run it out, and I was so happy for them. I'm glad they finally ended that streak.
The thing is, they won the Champions Series, but they really won it on Game 4 on Wednesday night when OG Anunoby hit it with the 1.2 seconds. That was it right there. And I think something would have brought the turnaround. Like, could this be happening? I mean, coming back down from 29 points down, one of the greatest comebacks in all of sports history, and when you figure at halftime, like, okay, this game was over, but I'll tune into it anyway. I mean, I'm a sports guy. I'm putting the scores in when the game was over. Then when it got down to like 10, midway the fourth, like, I see something here. Could it be like, nah, the chances are 1 in a million. Then it came down to 5. I'm like, this is unreal. How do you go from 29 points down to this? And then with that 1.2 seconds left in the game, like, that was like, you've heard the miracle on ice. This was a miracle on the court on that night. And I was like, in the words of Al Michaels, do you believe in miracles? Yes.
Well, and it's funny that it happened in the same city, too, because remember, Lake Placid is in New York. So I'm sorry.
That's upstate. That's upstate.
Yeah,
right.
He misspoke. He meant same state, not same city.
Same state. Yeah, I'm sorry, Luke. I meant to say same state. Yeah.
But the same vibe pretty much, because, you come back all the way up from that, and like, it's like, how will this happen? How do you blow a 29-point lead? And one of my other colleagues called it the ultimate choke job, because that's what you did. You had to lead in all 5 games. You eventually win 1. You were up double digits throughout much of the first quarter and the second quarter, and then right after that, you just collapsed and died in all those losses. I mean, you didn't just lose; you lost big.
Well, that's why I put that thing on my personal Facebook page about their coach getting fired, and people were like, "How can you fire him? He's young." You blew 4 double-digit leads in the NBA Finals. Any other coach would have been fired immediately,
or shot out of a cannon.
One of the two,
and had leads in all 5 games.
Correct. All 5.
Double-digit leads.
4 of the 5. Yeah. Losing 4 out of the 5. Yeah, that's Because let's say this, guys. Let's say that was Mike Brown, right? The Knicks.
Gone.
He would have been gone game 5.
First of all,
he would have been able to walk off the court. They'd have fired him before he even walked off the court. James Wilson would have fired him before he walked off the court.
Oh, absolutely. They would have been, and the fans would just boo the hell out of him. Believe me.
Oh,
they
hell
would hear it.
He'd have gotten booed off in games 3 and 4 at MSG. He'd have gotten booed off the floor. Absolutely.
Because remember, guys, New York has the most brutal, and I mean the most brutal media you can ever imagine. LA is second, and I think Chicago's third.
I would agree with that.
I would say Dallas.
And Dallas.
I would say
Cowboys media.
I would say if totality. Okay, I'll give you Chicago, but I think Cowboys media is incredibly brutal.
Oh, forgot one. I forgot one. Philadelphia. They're bad too.
Well, they've got their fans are pretty rowdy.
Their fan bases are brutal, but
yep.
And then I was counting down as it went down, and like, it is all over.
Well, then I mean, for them to say that Jalen Brunson's not a 1A, I think is ridiculous. Right. He's the one who led them through the playoffs, being where they were down 2-1 to Atlanta. He's the one who turned it all around and brought them out of the cusp of being eliminated in round 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
Atlanta pushed them,
and then all of a sudden they're like, we woke up, or as they say in the WWE world, Danhausen uncursed them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
He uncursed them. So that was cool.
Well, I don't know if either one of you saw it, but I think it's Get Up on Tuesday morning, I think it was. It was either Tuesday morning or yesterday morning. I mean, I haven't watched the chat shows in forever because I just don't care anymore.
They're stuck.
But they had some guy on. I don't remember who it was. But he was calling the last 8 champions frauds, and he called. Let me see if I can. Oh well, we might get copyright struck. So I won't do that. But let me see if I can find the quote here. Oh, okay, that's not what I was looking for. That's gambling.
Okay.
Oh, hold on. Sorry, guys.
No worries.
All right.
Okay, so it was Vincent Goodwill. He said, okay, so here, let's see if I can. He was arguing that because the NBA has experienced massive parity, crowning 8 different champions in the last 8 years without a single repeat winner, the league has legislated parity, evaluating the greatness of true dynasties. And he compared the Larry O'Brien Championship trophy to a participation award.
Wow.
Let me see if I can actually read his actual words and not.
I'm not even an NBA fan, but don't you want parity in sports? I mean, I know dynasties are great, but don't you want parity? I mean, it's boring to watch the same team win every year over and over again.
So the Celtics.
Where they've won it 18 times, Luke?
Yes, unfortunately.
And then what's the Lakers have 17 or the Lakers have 18 too?
16.
16.
I think they have 18 now, don't they?
No, Boston has a 1-game lead.
Because I know the Lakers won during COVID in Orlando. Yes. They won
Do they have 17 now?
NBA championship. And I was watching this cool thing on YouTube. The guy did like the last 50 years of NBA and NHL, and it went through all the Stanley Cups. And it's funny how, like, after a while, the cups and the Larry O'Brien trophies are stacked next to certain teams. It's like shit. Montreal's got 24 Stanley Cups. So yeah,
Yes.
Insane.
Well, what's really insane? Yeah.
So the Lakers started out as the Detroit Gems.
I thought they were in Minneapolis.
I didn't know that either. Wow.
They started out as the Detroit Gems in 1946-47 in the NLB.
Oh,
and then they moved to Minnesota in 47.
Right. Okay, the precursor to the NBA. Okay.
Yep.
Who they called the Lakers when they moved to Minnesota, or did they get that?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
The Minneapolis Lakers.
Yep.
And they moved to Los Angeles. Okay.
1960.
Yep. It's 18 for Boston, 17 for LA.
Close.
And they were tied after LA won in 2020.
Yeah.
And then last year in 25 or 24, I forget which year it was.
24.
Boston went back ahead by 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to your point, I think parity is good for the leagues.
Yes.
I think dynasties, but he was talking about OKC when they had Durant and Westbrook and I forget the other one. Harden. And I was like, they never won anything. They'd have these dominant regular seasons. They'd win 55, 60 games a year and fizzle out in the second round.
Yeah.
It's like you can't have a dynasty that doesn't win anything.
That's not a dynasty anyway.
That's just a China buffet. It's not even a dynasty buffet.
Would you guys think the last dynasty in the NBA was the Golden State Warriors?
I would.
Yes.
I would make an argument for the Warriors. I think you could say that
yes,
the Warriors could be considered a dynasty. But I don't think that dynasties. I think dynasties breed contempt.
Well, you don't see it anymore.
And I think that's better. But it doesn't. I don't really think dynasty. Well, I don't really think it matters whether you have dynasties or you don't. Because if you don't have a good product, if the game itself isn't good, isn't entertaining, isn't fun to watch, I don't really think you might have a singular fan base who but if you look back at the earlier dynasties, whether it be the Celtics in the 60s or the Lakers in the 70s or the Lakers in the 80s or the Lakers in the 2000s, or those dominant Bulls teams, I think that the product on the court was better compared to now, at least to a certain degree, because I think the basketball, fundamentally, the basketball that's played now is better basketball. I think the guys are stronger, they're faster, they're smarter, they're tougher. But basketball isn't a tough guy sport. Basketball was never intended to be a contact sport like football or hockey or football and hockey. Or rugby. It was always supposed to be a non-contact sport. You weren't supposed to do the things like we saw in the 80s and 90s with the hard fouls and the elbows and the knees and the fist fights at half court or center court, whichever you prefer. And I think modern basketball is more a reflection of what the game was originally intended to be, a wide open, free flowing, and with the shot clock and the shot clock era, it creates a different breed of basketball than you had. But again, we talked this to death, 20, 25 years ago, at the end of the 90s and throughout the mid 2000s, you had a group of, whether it be you had a vocal minority or just you had a vocal plurality of the fans complaining about the low scoring, clutching and grabbing and holding brand of basketball that was prevalent in the mid to late 90s and 2000s, and they wanted them to open up the floor and increase scoring, and now you've got games that are 133, 150. It's an 18-point blowout,
Mm-hmm.
and now you're on the other side. Now you've got the same plurality of fans that were complaining 20 years ago that there wasn't enough scoring, are now complaining there's too much scoring. And if you're the NBA, there's no winning for losing, man.
Yeah.
I honestly think, Bud, that's in every sport too. Is I think what happens, and we had this conversation a couple weeks ago about like you were talking, but about football, like what was the best era of football? And remember, we had Buck Flair on, and he said it was the '80s. That was the best era of football he had ever seen. I think is the year he mentioned, but that's the whole thing. Is the funny thing is people will bitch and complain that they want things to be changed, and the funny thing is once those changes happen, now they want it to go back to the way it was. Well, now wait a minute,
Never
you can't have
satisfied.
ways. So now basketball is more about the 3-point shot, getting down, hitting the three, high scoring games. The center position that we all grew up watching, the Shaqs, the Ewings, the Elijah Wands, guys like that don't exist anymore. You don't
No.
have a true center anymore. Yeah, you have Wembyamba, you have Giannis, you got big guys, but they're not centers. They're forwards, they're power forwards.
Right.
So you don't have a big guy in the middle anymore that you feed the ball into, like Rick Smits, and I'm going through all my head of all the centers that were playing in that day. But the game has evolved, and of course that's what happens with everything. In football, we've gone from the running back being the premier position in the draft. You guys will all remember, who's the next big running back? And now it's gone to a passing league. Everybody's about the quarterbacks, the wide receivers. The running back is on a valued position as much as it used to be back in the day. So yeah, you have the traditional sports fans or whatever sport that he or she cheers for. They want change. They get the change. They're like, wait a minute, I don't like it like that. Let's change it back. You're not going to change it back because all the sports now are making more money because of the higher scores in the NBA. I mean, look at the NHL. I mean, how many games this year did you see? I didn't see too many at least in the Stanley Cup Finals. That is, there wasn't a lot of games that ended in 2-0 or 2-1. They were all 4, 5, 6 goals apiece.
Yeah,
that's the way the game is now. It's a high scoring. I mean, to look at a hockey scoring at 7-6. I mean, who would have thought? Like, I mean, that's insane to think like that. But
yeah, both people had a bad night, man.
Yeah, back in the day, that would be like if you win 7-6, you had your goaltenders didn't show up that night. You had your reserve, not even your backups, your reserve goalies in there.
Yeah, in hockey, a baseball game broke out, and Boston and Chicago beat St. Louis 7-6.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct. Get a touchdown score with no extra point. So there you go. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's a bad football game is 7-6.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I remember,
for 6-3.
I guess I get as I get older, I feel like it's I remember people complaining about the lack of scoring in the late 90s and early 2000s, right before the first lockout, and they wanted the game changed. They wanted it opened up. They wanted it faster. They want let the scorers score, and they wanted the clutching and grabbing out of the game. They wanted the holding and the hooking and the riding a guy into the corner. And they wanted guys like Martin Brodeur, a third defenseman. You couldn't chip and chase on him because he'd get the puck and cycle it, and it'd be right back up the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think the best rule that hockey got rid of was the 2-line pass.
Agreed.
Once they got rid of that rule, it was great.
I wish they would. For me, I like a fast flowing. I think that they call too many penalties in the regular season.
Yeah.
I think playoff hockey is so much better because they call fewer penalties, so you get more flow. When you get all those penalties, and it chops the game up, and nobody can establish a flow.
Something that's more healthier for you, so you're not swallowing plastic.
You get his team takes 3 penalties in the first 6 minutes, and neither side has been able to get a flow going. Either power play has been effective, and and I just think that I wish they would call fewer fouls in the NBA and fewer, and just play through the contact. I think what the thing that I think would fix the NBA overnight would be to stop calling so many fouls. Don't call those fouls. Just let them play through the contact. I think that would make the game would flow so much better. And the same thing in the NHL. I wish they would call fewer. If we look at playoff basketball, look at playoff hockey, the last month and a half, and how everybody's praised the games for being so good and so entertaining and so fun to watch. And you didn't see a slew of penalties or a slew of fouls in the first 6 minutes of either event.
Mm-hmm.
So both teams could establish themselves, get out, get a feel for it. Now, obviously, call the obvious stuff. A clear hook, a clear push off. An obvious slash, an obvious grab. A charge. Call those things. But the more ticky-tack stuff, the bumping, the incidental contact, the parallel, the parallel to the body stick in hockey. Let them play through it, man. Swallow the whistles and let them play through it.
I mean, do you think too, Bud, when it comes to NBA basketball, that they need to cut down on the flopping? I mean, I think
definitely.
What I think would help would be to not call it either way. To not call it either way. So, if you go in for if you're taking it, let's say you're coming off the dribble, you set a good screen, you come off the top of the key, you're gonna go for a layup, and you guys make contact. It's not, neither side gets a call. It's just if you flop either way, whether it be the defender flop trying to draw an offensive foul or the offensive flop trying to draw a defensive foul, we just don't call it either way. So it doesn't matter whether or not. So it takes that gray area out where it kind of looked like an offensive foul, it kind of looked like a defensive foul. It's neither. You just play on.
I agree with that, because I know there's a lot of flopping going on in the NBA. A lot of people complained about that. That was going on, but I agree. I think especially in football, I don't so much in college. Sometimes in college football, as they get near the national championship or in the national championship game, you see penalties not get called that are that. But if you're clearly holding or pass interference or fouling or elbowing or whatever, anything clear, yes, call it. Anything else, I guess in a way, keep the whistle in the pocket, however you want to say that. But, you don't have to, unless it's, just absolutely, there. While I was home last week working from home, I got to watch the Tim Donaghy on Netflix thing about when he gambled. He typically said in that documentary he never gambled. He never set games up to win. He just gave away the winners to his cronies, or whatever he called them, friends that he had when he was younger. It's for them millions of dollars, because he knew what officials were refereeing what games. And if those officials had a problem with a player or a coach, bet the other team, because you're going to get calls from that official towards that team. I remember he was talking about when Allen Iverson played for Philadelphia. Or is it? No, I'm sorry, not Philadelphia, Denver, excuse me. And he palmed the ball a lot. AI would palm the ball. He said, so watch. They're going to call palm all night long. And he was actually in that game, And they called every time that AI did that. They called it for that. And again, that lowers the score down. So you take the other team and
take the under. Take the other team in the under.
Till somebody figured it out. So
yeah, and then one of those things you get away with for 20 years and you never wish you had.
Yeah, I mean, I guess he makes money now as a real estate. He invests money in real estate. He sells real estate, so that's what he does now. So, but I mean, he lost his wife and his kids.
Oh.
You know, was it worth it? I mean, was it worth it?
Until you got caught.
Yeah. Was it, as they say, man, you stuck your hand too many times in the cookie jar, and you got bit. And
yep.
But that's the whole thing with that. I think once that adrenaline is there or that temptation is there, and you keep winning, it's just like gambling. You keep winning, winning, and then all of a sudden it crumbles, and you start losing everything. So that, I guess with him, it's just that he lost his family.
Yeah,
because he risked, being a, I guess I wouldn't say a bad NBA referee, just gave away too much information.
Yeah, too much. It's insider training.
Yeah, Wall Street. If you want to throw it out there, that movie Wall Street.
Yeah,
the original, not the remake with Shia LaBeouf. Sorry to throw that out there, but
don't go there.
Nothing like the original with Michael Douglas and Charlie Sheen. Yeah.
But
so
it's one of those things you do it. You get away with it for 20 years, and the one time you don't, you wish you had never done it.
Correct. Yep. Correct.
It's like your ass got caught on fire.
Because I watched the Tim Donaghy one. I watched the Jailblazers about Portland when they got Rasheed Wallace and Bonzi Wells and Damon Stoudemire, I think was the other Stoudemire that they had too.
Yeah.
And they were busted for marijuana, and Rasheed Wallace, I think, had the record for most technicals in a season, which I don't think will ever be broken. So, I mean, that's a record that you probably would want to see broken, but
yeah,
you don't want to be remembered for that. But he doesn't care. I mean, Rasheed doesn't care.
She never cared about that.
No,
right.
No.
And we loved him in Detroit.
He won a championship with the Pistons in 2004, so he was happy about that. So he did say that in the documentary. He's like, "Yeah, I got traded out of Portland and I went to Detroit and I won a championship." So
we loved him in Detroit, man. Him and Sheed and Tayshaun and Phillips.
That was a good team.
We were a good team.
Speaking of Chauncey Billups, he's in big trouble for that gambling shit going on now.
Yeah.
He was part of that whole scheme.
Also in Portland.
Yeah. Yep.
It's again, like I said, and I'll say it again. It's one of those things where you can get away with it for 20 years, but the second you get caught, you'll wish you never had.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's in big legal trouble. And go to jail, go directly to jail, do not collect $200 kind of trouble.
Yeah.
Speaking of legal troubles, did we see that Brandon Sorsby is declared for the supplemental draft now?
Yeah.
I heard.
So he went from coming back to Texas Tech to, I'm out of here.
Yeah, I think it's the best case scenario for everybody involved.
Yep.
I think if he had tried to play, there would have been such and I don't know how the fallout is going to look like because it's not over yet. Because now everybody that Texas Tech plays, you got to be wondering what other shenanigans Texas Tech might be willing to try. So, I mean, I think that'll be the narrative going forward with Texas Tech. I mean, Now,
they were a playoff team a year ago too. So yeah,
they were no doubt, and they look to get back there with Brandon Sorsby, and they felt, looking at it from a pure football standpoint, regardless of his off the field antics, he's an okay quarterback, but he needed another year in college.
Yes.
He's got the arm talent to make all the throws, but he hasn't developed the quarterback. He hasn't developed the quarterback knowledge, the quarterback sense to make all the throws. And I know Tom Brady was talking about it a couple months ago, a couple years. He's been talking about it for a couple of years now, about how college doesn't prepare you for the NFL. And like, on the one hand, yeah, it doesn't. On the other hand, it's not supposed to. Like,
right.
Urban Meyer, once Urban Meyer and Tim Tebow, or AJ McCarron at Alabama, or JJ McCarthy at Michigan, or Dwayne Haskins at Ohio State, or take your favorite quarterback from your favorite college with your favorite coach combo. Like, the coach's job isn't Urban Meyer's job, Jim Harbaugh's job, Jim Tressel's job isn't to get their quarterback ready for the NFL. Nick Saban's job, the reason Nick Saban won 7 championships at Alabama and was a dynasty at Alabama and is considered one of the greatest head coaches in college football history, is because he couldn't give two shits about getting anybody ready for the NFL. His job was to win college football games at the University of Alabama. And if a guy happened to go to the NFL and play well in the NFL, then so be it. Goody bully on him. But that's not Nick Saban's job.
No.
Well, also too, I think with college too, I think you're not worried about getting your kids to the NFL. I don't even know really, but if it's even important to get your kids to graduate anymore. I mean, back in the day, it was important for head coaches to make sure, oh, my boys graduated.
Yes.
Now, I don't think that's I mean, some universities have a high graduation rate with their athletic programs, and some of them don't. So it just depends.
So. There's that documentary, Catholics versus Convicts.
Yeah.
And
Notre Dame.
Miami.
Notre Dame.
They were talking to some teachers at the University of Miami. Like, I have no idea who this kid is. I've never seen him in my class. He's been signed up for the last 3 years, and I've never seen him in my class.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, at the end of the day, we talk about it's the transition period of going from being a child to an adult. And it doesn't matter whether you're a top flight college athlete, whether you're a boy or a girl, whether you're, going off, one day you're going to go play in the NBA on Mars, or if you're just another schmuck who's going to get a business degree and manage a Jiffy Lube on 4th and go fuck yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You at a certain you are responsible for taking control of your life and doing the things that you need to do in school. And if you don't get a degree, you don't get to graduate, you don't get to get your diploma, and you have to go work at Walmart. I mean, and like, I understand, like, you can't be missing class. Like, I understand, like, you shouldn't be missing classes, and you shouldn't get a free pass just because you're a top flight student athlete.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But we live in let's live in reality here for a moment, and understand that certain people get certain privileges, and if you happen to be good at a sport, you do get those privileges.
Exactly.
Yes,
and the 80s were a time of cocaine and privilege.
Yep. Nope, that's exactly right.
That's exactly what happened.
Life's not fair. Buy a helmet.
Yeah.
Right.
I have a funny feeling that I'm looking at the excuse me, the U.S. Open leader. Oh, Jason Day withdrew. Wow.
The
Oh boy.
conditions were awful. I wanted to get into that, and I'm sorry, I got sidetracked.
Well, that's
Sorry.
okay. No, right now, as of right now, there's still some guys on the golf course, but Wendell Clark is your leader at -6. He's got a
Oh wow,
full
he's actually under. He's under
over
for
a
the
bunch.
day.
Yeah. Well, if you can
Under.
finish under at a U.S. Open, you're winning. You're winning. I mean,
Yeah,
you're not
I'm
designed to
surprised.
be under par. You're not designed to be that way.
No,
So,
no, it's
No.
unforgiving. It will punish you. I was watching some clips from this early today. It's the first. It's like early in the morning. Might have been 9 o'clock. Might have been earlier than that. And the fog was an inch thick.
yeah.
It was pea soup. It was God. The conditions were god awful. I think he was
Yes.
playing. So it might have been closer to 9 o'clock because I think they said it was 11. And it was an approach shot. It's 70 yards out, 50, 55, 70 yards out. Not one you would think for a PGA Tour pro would be a difficult shot. Chip and lay it up and two putt and take your par and then go on to the next hole, right? He
Right.
hits it up there. It lands on the slope and rolls a good 30 yards back down the hill.
Oh, wow.
Just awful, just brutal. I don't remember who it was that hit the shot, so don't ask me that question. But yeah, conditions looked awful.
Well, and then the rough is like extra thick.
Yeah.
U.S. Open rough is like, this high,
Mm-hmm.
this high and this thick. And if you miss the fairway, it's not good. I mean,
Yeah.
if you look back at what Tiger did, forget what year it was that he dominated Pebble Beach, you'll never see that again in a U.S. Open. It just doesn't happen that often that you're 21 under par when you finish the U.S. Open. It just doesn't.
Is that all the way back in 98?
Was it 98 when he won at Pebble?
I
don't-
forget
think so.
what year. Let me go back. I'll look at that real quick. What year did he win?
Yeah. I know 98 was his coming out party. He burst onto the scene in 98.
Oh, it was 2000. The 2000
okay.
U.S. Open.
2000 would have been my second guess.
He won. Okay. So he won by 15 strokes that year, finishing
at 21 under par.
-12.
-12.
It remains the largest margin of victory in a major championship history, and is widely considered one of the most dominant performances in the history of individual sports.
He won. He was 12 under and won by 15 strokes. That means second was 3 strokes over.
3 over par. Yep.
Holy Jesus.
Over par.
Woods shattered the U.S. Open record of 11-stroke victory set by Willie Smith in 1899. Yes, I said 1899.
101 years later.
Correct. He is the only man. Okay, check this out. He was the only player in the 156-man field to finish under par. The only one to finish under par in 2000.
Yeah.
Ernie Els and Miguel Angel Jimenez tied for second at 3 over par.
Go figure that one out.
Insane.
And the dude was a sicko.
Yep, didn't record a single 3-putt the entire week. He opened the tournament with a 65, the lowest U.S. Open round ever shot at Pebble Beach at the time. So I guess someone's obviously broke it since then. But
yeah.
And Pebble's not a easy track either. I never got to play there. I want to play there, but
yeah, definitely top 5 course to play.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's
the
top
leaderboard
5 on my bucket list. So yeah,
just went final. Just went day 1. Just finished.
Oh, I'll go ahead and get my article written up here when we get done, and I'll get it into Ralph.
Wendell Clark leads at 6 under.
Okay.
Matt Fitzpatrick is 2 under, and then it is 4-way tie at 2 under for second with Dustin Johnson, John Random, and Gary Woodland.
Yep.
If I said all those names right, it's kind of hard.
It's Rom. Jon Rahm.
Okay.
Rahm, yeah.
Rahm is a live tour player too, so that's interesting.
Well,
he happens to be in the thick of it.
No, he is currently.
But
as long as that lasts.
I think the live tour is gonna be gone here soon.
Yeah, September.
The funding, I think, is going to go away for them, and it was a shot in the dark for professional golf, and then it's like, oh, it's done. The fad's over. Time to go back to the PGA Tour. You know.
Yep. Yep. I guess I will have to commend the PGA Tour for not caving.
Yeah.
No, because if you think about it, they stuck to their guns. You know, they kept a lot of good players, and Rory and Tiger, and you know, a lot of the guys that stayed on the tour didn't go to live, and they still made more money. I mean, obviously, that was the big thing. It was the money. It was, okay, we're going to give you a bunch of money. I was listening to a radio the other day, and someone says that this is how live is.
Yeah.
They give you a bunch of money, and they want you to do the song and dance. And once the song and dance is over, that's it. They're done. You know, and I think now the song and dance is over on the live tour and how they play, because they at the time when they first started the tour, it was only 3 rounds. Now it's 4 on the live tour. They've gone to 4 rounds. They got no majors in the years that they were on, that they had the tour, where you still have the Masters, the PGA Championship, the US Open, the British Open or Open Championship, and you have the Players and the Memorial, which are considered other majors outside of those 4. But live never had a major. They never had like, hey, this is going to be a major. Now, the thing with live is they went international. They had a lot of tournaments overseas in Saudi Arabia and China and all that. But
and they were the shiny new toy, right?
Correct.
4 or 5 years ago.
Yep.
20, 22, 21, 22.
Shine wore off.
And they were the shiny new toy. They were they were gonna come in and revolutionize the industry. They were gonna change the way golf was thought. They change the business model of golf. Like 3 rounds instead of 4. Shorter weeks, shorter work weeks, more money for winning, more money for playing. And they were gonna have, you know, less travel days. And we thought about it, and you know, at the time, and it sounded great. You know, and then we got thinking about it, you know, a couple years in, couple years on, you know, 2024 rolls around, and you and I were, Lou was here too, not like he's an ugly redheaded stepchild, but Lou was here too. And we were talking about it, it's like, you know, that only 3 days sounds great until you realize you really have to be there on Wednesday anyway. Get in, get checked into the hotel, you know, especially if it's an international flight. If you're, you know, if there are tournaments down in Australia and you're an American, you live in Maine, or you live in Miami, you know, say, you know, I'm not really sure where like golfers are headquartered at. It's not like, you know, a football team.
I would say in probably like most of them live in Florida, Texas, or California.
Let's say Miami.
You can play all those. You can play all year round.
Right. Let's say the vast majority of players, like, and Rory is from England, so, you know, and obviously didn't Sergio Garcia, he was one of the ones that jumped to live, right?
Yep. He's from Spain. He's Spanish.
He's from Spain. Okay. So he's from Spain, right? So let's say he's got it, you know, and say, you know, he lives in Spain, and say he lives in Madrid. I don't know, so don't quote me on that. It's just speculation on my part. So, you know, and then, you know, it sounds great to get, you know, we can fly in, we'll fly in on Thursday. Well, actually, it's better to fly in on Wednesday anyway. Well, we're already flying in there. We're already flying into Sydney on Wednesday. Now we have a whole day instead of having a round on Thursday, we have a whole day of nothing to do. No golf. Yeah, you might get a practice round in. You know, you might go walk the course. But you could still, you could get in early on Wednesday, go play a practice round and walk the course. And then Thursday comes, you play your round on Thursday, and then you go do whatever you want on Thursday night. or maybe if you're a late player, maybe you have a 2 o'clock tee off instead of a 9 a.m. tee off. So you got all your morning to get you do your normal morning routine, and then you go play your round, and then you have your evening routine, and then you play Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you don't make the cut on Friday, you just go home. Right, if you're allowed to, obviously, if you're, maybe you have sponsor obligations or tour obligations where you end up having to stay Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday. But if you don't make the cut, you probably just go on home. Now with the Live Tour, you've got a day. That Thursday is a dead day, like, and especially if you fly in early. If you fly in early enough on Wednesday, because you still have to be, you got to be there Wednesday anyway, because it's just how because you want to get acclimated, you want to get in, and everybody else is coming in on Wednesday, so you're not actually saving a day, you're actually adding a day, essentially.
Right.
Instead of because you think about it, like, of a day of non-competitiveness, right? A non-compete day. Instead of Thursday being a game day or a round day, now Thursday's a dead day, and you still have to pay for a hotel. You still have to pay for all the food, and now you're not playing a round of golf. You can get a practice round in, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm one of those golf fans that bought into. I thought that Liv would win the war, and I'm gonna say that out loud. I thought that Liv would win because of the financial thing. Like, they have money from the Saudi government that's bottomless, because they have most of the oil in the world comes out of the Middle East. So it was like a foregone conclusion. The other thing that didn't fly too well on the tour too was the team aspect of Live. Like, I mean, I watched a few Live tournaments, but you'd see the individual, up and down the leaderboard. And then over here, you'd have the teams, and it's like, well, if one of your guys on your team has a bad round, it pulls your whole team score down. So I never really understood that the team concept that they had on Live. They don't have that on the PGA Tour, so that didn't fly either. And a lot of golf fans are like, "What? We're playing teams? It's not a team event. It's not a team sport. It's an individual sport."
And the other thing, you said teams, but I thought you said teen, like TEN, TEN, and
yeah.
They wanted to get they had this idea of getting younger, right? They were going to bring in a new audience, a younger, more vibrant, more affluent fan base. And the problem is that young people that like golf are already affluent. They have money, and B, they're generally, the vast majority of them are not rowdy kids. They're not partying. They're not screaming. They're not carrying on. Golf is if you enjoy golf, 90% of us who were gotten into the game were gotten into by an older relative.
Yes.
Who was very much a stickler for golf as a quiet game of concentration, of respect. Obviously there's certain things that, like, you might see the back off challenge on your TikToks or your Instagrams, and those are funny in the right setting. But in a tournament, in a serious tournament with serious professionals, the kind of shenanigans that Liv was trying to market to, those kinds of people don't watch golf. The younger generation that is more of a on their phone, Instagram, texting kind of model that they thought they were going to bring in by playing music and hyping it up. Those kids don't care about golf. And the kids that do care about golf are more of a traditional golf fan. They want the quiet. They want the peace. They're not exuberant. Yeah, of course, if they hit a hole in one, they might take their shirt off and run around. But generally speaking, they're not a boisterous crowd of individuals. And it's both girls and boys. The vast majority of young people in their teens and 20s who are into golf were gotten in by your uncle, my grandpa. We were brought in by older people who, your golf round is your round, and you play with respect to everyone else on the course. You don't play loud music. You don't get blackout drunk at 2 p.m. on a Wednesday. at your local 9-hole par 3.
Mm-hmm.
And Liv had this idea that they were going to bring in these frat bros. That's a good word for it. They're going to bring in these frat bros,
right,
from upper lower middle class frat bros in that $70,000 to $120,000 a year range. You know, those that were like that the white collar kids of blue collar workers. We're gonna suddenly gravitate to Liv because it wasn't stodgy old men in fancy pants ruining a perfectly good walk.
Well, yeah, because I mean that was the whole thing with as Mark Twain quoted it, that golf is a good walk spoiled. That's Mark Twain's quote. But yeah, the game that I was taught as a young kid compared to what the game is now, like everybody plays music on the golf course now. I mean, it's a foregone conclusion.
Yes.
You're going to play with somebody who has a speaker. You're going to play with somebody who, that's how the game again has evolved into what it has been. But traditionally, yes, there's not, traditionally you were supposed to wear, a polo shirt and long pants, dress pants.
Right.
Yeah,
on Liv, you could wear shorts. Some of them wore shorts when they played. So it just depends. It just, it all depended on that. But the game is never going to get away from the traditional. I mean,
no.
Back in Bobby Jones's day, they wore suits and ties.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, imagine going out, like if you were going to the prom or getting married, playing golf in that.
Yeah.
No, thank you. I mean, no.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
Oh, and yeah, that's how it's a 3-piece suit, man.
Yep. I mean,
slack. Obviously, golf shoes are kind of a given. You had your golf shoes, and then you had some kind of spikeage, but you had your, you'd have a pair of golf shoes. They were specifically designed and meant for playing golf. And I'm talking about your average everyday player, not a PGA Tour pro.
right.
Like you had a golf outfit. It was a pair of pants and a nice polo and your golf shoes and your golf hat, and you had your golf bag with your golf balls and your golf clubs, and you loaded up and you drove down to your local golf course and you played 9 or 18 or 36, depending on how froggy you were feeling. And I think for the vast majority of the time of golf has been, since the 60s, golf was a way for businessmen to interact in a relaxed, more casual setting, where it was a chance to get out of the boardroom and get out and do something relaxing and entertaining and take a couple hours away during the business day and make deals and haggle and connect at a more personal level. And business executives now aren't playing. You don't have the 3-hour round of golf on a Tuesday afternoon, which I really think has hurt the game as a business, like the business of golf. Like obviously the PGA is doing at least well enough to beat Liv and the Saudi money and the Saudi oil money.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I think the casual game of golf is or the professional game of golf, professionals game of golf. That's not the professional game of golf. The professionals game of golf has really gone away because now if you, I saw some CEO had a 3-drink lunch and was losing his mind because he lost a half a day worth of productivity.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. Excuse me.
Yeah, no, you're good. I'll just keep babbling. Collect yourself.
But yeah, no. You're exactly right. It used to be a way to meet for businesses, to be one-on-one with somebody.
Right.
And I think to me, a lot more now, you see a lot more professional athletes are golfers now. More celebrities are golfers now than there ever has been. And some of them are really good.
Yeah,
I mean, some celebrities and athletes have low handicaps. I mean, there's some good players out there.
Tony Romo's a damn good golfer.
Justin Timberlake's a good golfer. Steph Curry's a single handicap. I mean, so you're talking, good for some good play. Oh, wow. I'm getting over a cold, guys. I'm sorry.
No, you're good, brother. Don't worry.
But yeah, I think the way
players were traditionally the best golfers.
Well, I think back to the 60s. I think the one that started it, I mean, I could be wrong because I wasn't alive in the 60s, but I think Arnie and Jack were the first two. That rivalry between those two started what we have now in the game. And then you had Gary Player, and you had, guys like that. You had Norman and, Faldo and all those guys that came in the 70s and 80s and changed it, opened up for Tiger and Phil and all those guys and Brooks Koepka and, Bryson DeChambeau of what we have today. But, it's just, the game a lot. And the equipment has changed a lot through the years as well. I mean,
but fundamentally, the game hasn't changed.
No. Fundamentally, you're right. No.
And the way people consume the game,
still the same.
The way people consume the game, and the type of game that people want to watch,
right?
With all the hoopla that Liv was going to bring, and it's going to bring excitement to the game of golf. And at the end of the day, it's a golf ball 2 inches across?
Yeah,
something like that.
It's a 2-inch round piece of plastic being hit by a 10-inch piece of carbon fiber.
Mm-hmm.
And fundamentally, you can't make that. People aren't There's no, unless you start installing landmines on the 18th green. There's golf isn't going to be exciting. You can't make golf exciting. Unless you say on holes 5, 7, and 9, there's a sniper team out there. If you hit it into the rough, good luck. Golf,
right.
Golf or you can just watch Happy Gilmore too and figure out how they made golf so fun. So
but golf can be fun but golf can be fun. Golf can be exciting if you're invested in golf. And I think that's the thing is like Liv thought that I know we've been battling about this for like 20 minutes, and I keep going back to this but Liv thought that they were going to make golf exciting, that they were going to get excitement into the game of golf. And golf is exciting to people that like golf. People that like golf are already excited by golf. And I see golf in the same way as people that like watching chess tournaments. You're not, if you don't have any interest in chess, which I really don't. I mean, it's kind of neat to I'll watch somebody like Magnus Carlsen. He's the greatest
the top player in the world. Yep.
Right. If it's a short on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram or like Facebook or whatever, if it's on my socials, it's somewhere on my socials, I might stop and watch a 2-minute, a 2-minute highlight reel of some of Magnus Carlsen's greatest moves. I have no idea what's going on, but it's still neat to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But to sit down and watch 3 hours of Magnus Carlsen, an actual championship tournament of Magnus Carlsen playing chess, I'd rather watch paint dry. And I think that the vast majority of people who want to who don't watch golf are not going to turn on Liv on a Friday afternoon and go, this golf thing, they're playing music and wearing shorts. I'm invested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, you brought up Magnus Carlsen. I also watched a documentary about that too, where I guess this guy that was on chess.com, which I guess is one of the hottest chess playing websites on the internet right now. And I guess he cheated and then he got to a tournament against Magnus, and he like dominated him. And immediately they're like, yeah, he cheated. And come to find out, he didn't cheat during the tournament. But I mean, they were talking about
I heard about that.
He was using anal beads to cheat. And
yes, I heard about that. Yeah.
Vibrating in his butt to make that move or whatever. But I'm like, come on, dude, really? That's how far it's got to go. But no. But anyway, it was.
Yeah, no, I heard about that too.
It was interesting to watch that because if growing up, if you know who obviously we all know who Bobby Fischer was,
right?
But,
yeah.
And we're still searching for him too. Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was a good movie, by the way. If you've ever seen that movie before.
Yes.
Searching for the Next Bobby Fischer. Good movie. About a young kid who plays chess, grows up.
The Queen's Gambit's really good too. If you haven't watched that,
I'll have to watch that one, but I haven't seen that.
It's like one of the first professional. I think it's like fictionalized.
Okay.
It's like a dramatization of like one of the first ever female chess champions. Like she was like a 13-year-old girl. So it's been a long time since I watched it. But the first episode was really good. So
I watch Anna Krambling on YouTube. She's from Sweden. Okay. She's a chess player. She's ranked like 2100. Her score is like 2100 or something like that.
Yeah.
And she plays in tournaments. There's so many different ways to play chess. Like there's a blitz where it's like 2 minutes. So you're like they're moving like this and this. It's like how do you know what you're doing? You know, it's like how do you know what the hell you're doing? It's like, okay, I got to move and I got like less than a second to make him make a move. You know.
Yeah. Well, it reminded me of something that I saw that kind of be fun, kind of a free-flowing, kind of non-segment regulated show. But I saw this thing, and I'm not going to be able to remember it perfectly. But there was like 4 different things that like the host was asking his guests about. It's one of those TikTok shows, sports shows, and they were like, gain a yard in the NFL, hit a shot over, I think it was LeBron, beat LeBron to 21, fight, forget, it was a MMA fight against,
Conor McGregor?
No, not McGregor, the chubby black guy that everybody loves, who I can't remember his name now.
Kimbo Slice.
No, not Kimbo Slice. He was a champion. He was heavyweight champion. He did that parody of the Meghan Trainor song. I can see his face.
Oh, yeah.
God. Oh, it's gonna drive me nuts. Give me just a second.
Okay, I'm trying to think of
Dan something.
Chubby black UFC
not
guy.
Henderson, not Hooker.
I'm not sure. I just thought it was Slice. Like, yeah, Kimbo was a big guy.
No, it's not either one of those guys. Dang it.
Mm-hmm.
I can see his face. No, it's not Barnett. Oh God, this is driving me nuts. Cormier, Daniel Cormier.
Oh, Cormier. Okay, yep.
Okay, yeah, I've heard of him.
So and then I think it was and I think the other one was past Max Verstappen in an F1 race.
F1, yeah.
And I was like, none of you None of those things are ever happening. None of those things, all of those guys, all of those things that those guys do are what they do, right? And like maybe the one you might have the best chance of doing is passing Max Verstappen, but everything else, none of you, no one, none of us, none of the, commentary community outside of other professional athletes who might happen to become commentators since their career is over. You're not good. You'll never get to being competitive against any of those guys. You could set aside 12 to 15 hours a day to try and do what they do, and you'll never get good enough.
Nope. I can't. I'd probably shit myself if I passed Max Verstappen in an F1 car.
So right.
Shit, I passed him. So, yeah.
I think there have been other. There was a famous, as 2014, Lewis Hamilton. He came over here and him and Gordon and Stewart did a ride swap at, I think it was Laguna. It was either Sonoma or Luna. It's out in California, I'm pretty sure. And Gordon's done it a couple of different times, but and he got in the F1 car. And then I was watching an interview. He was on Dale Jr.'s podcast just the other day, and I was watching that interview. And he was talking about the first lap he went out there, and he was trying to be easy. He's trying to be easy, ease into it, get a feel for it. And he dumped the car. And he got it righted, brought it back in, and they were just laughing at him. And he's like, what's so funny? He's like, you just got to go for it. Oh, and it was at Indy. I remember that because it was the Indy road course. He was doing the Indy road course, and he's like, because he was like talking about, he comes down the front stretch and he goes to get into one, and he's trying to be easy on it and get the tires up to temp and get a feel for it, and so he dumps the car and gets it right and brings it back in, and they were like I said, they were laughing at him, and he was like, oh, what's so funny? He's like, no, he's like, just go for it. You just got to go for it. You got to be aggressive. You got to get on it. And so he went out there and he put down a lap, like 2 seconds faster than Hamilton in Hamilton's car. It was nutty. I mean, like, that's the skill level it takes to be even competitive against the top flight Formula. You have to be Jeff Gordon levels of talented to even think about getting like the skills that it takes. And then in any sport at the professional level, I'm sure you both remember Pros versus Joes.
Yes.
15, 20 years ago now. And all those guys that would talk mad crap about, so-and-so, and okay, go out there and do it. And they'd put him up against Ray Lewis or I think Darrell Green. I think Darrell Green participated a couple of times. He was older by that time, but he was like, and they just couldn't do it. It's funny. I know I'm babbling, but Tiki Barber was Barstool had him on a couple of days ago, and they were doing walkthroughs, and they had one of the Barstool people trying to cover him, and he was just walking, and he absolutely torched the poor guy. This wasn't full. This was 50-year-old Tiki Barber in a suit and tie, and the other guy was wearing like athletic shorts, and Tiki just walked all over him. Just walked all over him. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, to beat any of those guys, you can count on one hand how many times that's happened with any of those situations. I mean, I guess it depends on which track you're passing Max on too. I know my future father-in-law just got back from Italy, and he was in Monaco. And I said, "Did you get to see the track?" He said, "Brad," he goes, "They were getting the race set up when as they were leaving. They left before the race happened,
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh my God," he goes, "they have yachts that are like almost $1 billion sitting in that water out there waiting for that race." And I'm like, what kind of lifestyle is that you have a multi-billion-dollar or $1 million yacht sitting in the water watching a race? It's like, it sucks that they moved Monaco out of the rotation on Memorial Day weekend, because it was so nice to wake up, watch F1. F1 gets over, you have like an hour, maybe a half hour, 45 minutes, and you got Indy on. And Indy's on, you watch all that. Then you got another couple hours, and then the Coca-Cola 600 in Charlotte. And it sucks that Monaco now is not in that rotation anymore. But
at least for this year,
I want to go back and see the track and see the race. He goes, "I'll go with you." I'm like, all right, cool. I got someone to go to Monaco with. And if I ever do go, bud, I'm going to give you a call. I'm going to give you a call.
If I have a spare $3,500 for a ticket, I'll let you know.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, I'll make that happen one way or the other. I'll make that happen. But yeah, I mean, if I would want to go with somebody who knows the sport and would be able to give me more insight than I know, because again, I've only watched, I mean, I saw the movie, but that's Brad Pitt, and that's a movie. That's not an actual race.
Yeah, I know. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen the movie yet, but I've seen.
It's not bad, but it's not all that bad. You see a lot of the drivers in there. You see Lewis Hamilton and Max and all them guys in the end of it.
Yeah, I've been meaning to get around to watching it. I just haven't gotten that far yet. But I was watching somebody like talking about reviewing the movie, and he was going through all the problems with it, the things that, like in real life it wouldn't happen. And I was like, all right, Bucko, like I know you couldn't do those things in real life,
right?
But it's a movie, and there's a level, like we all agree when we go into a movie that it's not real, and we're gonna suspend our disbelief a little bit here. He's talking about how Brad Pitt's character hadn't been in F1 for a while.
Correct.
And he walked in the paddock and they gave him a drive. And it's like, there's certain guys I think that, could come back who haven't had a drive in a while, who were former world champions. Like if Juan Pablo walked into the paddock tomorrow and said, "Hey, I want to drive," they'd figure out a way to get him a ride for the weekend.
He's one of the legends. I mean, that's a legend F1 driver.
Yeah,
Juan Pablo Montoya. Oh yeah.
And from what I understand, Brad Pitt's character is a legend of the deal.
Yeah,
and
I'm not gonna give too much of it away. What happens is he's like the next up and coming hot F1 driver. Yes. And he has an accident. And the accident shakes him up enough to where he says, "That's it. I'm not doing this." And what happens is his teammate is the owner of the team in which he comes back into. So the guy that owns the F1 team is in money trouble because they're not winning races. They're not even placing in some of the races. So you're not placing. You're not making any money off sponsorships or anything like that.
Right.
So he brings him in to kind of rejuvenize the young driver that he has, but also to get some wins. And again, I'm not going to give it away of what happens, but
I'll check it out now.
It's a different way to look at it. I mean, compare, Bud, to the movie you had me watch about, and I can't now. Why can't I think of the two drivers now? It was the guy that played Thor was in there. It's about F1, and it was, I forget who the drivers were. The one that had
and James Hunt.
There you go. Thank you.
Right.
That movie was a little bit different because they had portrayed that year that Niki Lauda got in his accident and leading up to how F1 changed, because it changed after he got in his accident. Everything changed. I don't even know if they even race on that track anymore.
No, they don't. They stopped racing there altogether. Yep.
Yeah. So And I know once, who was it that died in Las Vegas? The IndyCar driver.
Oh yeah.
Just watching that the other day too.
Dan Weldon.
Dan Weldon. Thank you. They stopped racing Indy cars in LA or in Vegas because of him dying, because of Weldon's death. So it comes down to, they know, they get intelligent, like, hey, we can't lose drivers, because you lose drivers, you lose money, your sport gets unpopular.
Yeah.
So, yeah. I mean, we all know what happened to Daytona with Dale Sr. and how that all changed after he died. So But yeah, the F1 movie, I went with my girlfriend. You wanted to see it. You wanted to see it. And I'm like, all right, I don't know anything about F1 other than watching ESPN and talking to you guys about it. I'm going to go with an open mind, and I thought it was a good movie. I thought Brad Pitt played a very good character. I thought he's, what you would think a older F1 driver would be portrayed, because again, you're coming into a sport that is full of guys that are under the age of 30, and you're over 30.
Yeah.
So, how do you portray that situation? I mean, you're coming into a bunch of young drivers who are all seasoned, who know, how to run their car, no matter if they're McLaren, Ferrari, or whoever else your car maker is. And stuff like that. So it comes down to, but it's worth watching. I will say that.
I'll check it out.
Yeah.
If you're an F1 fan, it's worth taking a look and watching the movie, because it does show a lot of the popular drivers in the end. Max and Lewis and all of them are in there. A lot of them have, of course, executive producer credits, so they got money because, they got to be executive producers. So, and the movie did very well in the box office. They all made money anyway.
Yeah.
But, I mean, yes, again, you can't go into a movie, you can't go in to watch that and think that it's real life. No, it's a movie, guys. Come on now. They're portraying what happened. Again, it's a portraying. They're not saying this is real.
Yeah.
Like,
they're gonna take
it's a movie. It's a
they're gonna take some liberties, and they're gonna adjust things to tell the story that they want to tell.
Correct.
It would be different. It's one thing to tell a fictionalized story about a real thing, like it's like it's like historical fiction. Yeah, it obviously those things, they wouldn't do those things in the past the way they like Gladiator for an example. And I know we usually don't talk about movies, but gladiators are athletes, so it's sports related. We can So according to historical records that we have that survived 2,000 plus years, and so obviously these things, history, the way we think of history is different than the way they thought of history and how things were documented in the past. But gladiators had sponsors. There were sponsors in the arenas, and one of the other things, and one of the changes that they made for the movie to make more sense to a modern audience, is because in ancient Rome, the thumbs down was positive, thumbs up was negative, and thumbs across was new. They usually use thumbs across, like, do whatever you want. It's your choice. It was more more, and it wasn't thumbs down. It was thumbs up was negative for Rome, and so but the filmmakers didn't think a modern audience would it wouldn't make sense to a modern audience. And if you have to stop for a 15-second explanation in the middle of your movie, you're going to lose. You're yanking you to explain why this thing is happening this way. Is literally ripping your audience out of the movie and saying, all right, hold on, guys. In ancient historical, or to work that into like some kind of dialogue where they explain, where I think it was Caligula. It might have been a different emperor. I don't remember, but I'm pretty sure it was Caligula. It's either Caligula or Nero. If they used a real emperor, I don't know if they did or not. I haven't seen the movie, but I just know of the movie. So, like, to have this awkward dialogue where the Roman emperor is explaining to a what do they call it? Not consort, a council member. Why he goes thumbs down instead of thumbs up, rips the audience out of the movie because it doesn't make any sense. It makes even less sense than just doing thumbs down and having the right, a modern audience will accept that as being a negative. So
I thought both Gladiator movies were good. The second one was just as good as the first one was. Just to throw that out.
I haven't seen either of them. I just haven't gotten around to it.
Just to throw that out there, that both of them are good. I mean, Denzel Washington happens to be one of my favorite actors, so he makes the second one very good. But I thought both of them were good. And then my high school, that was our mascot. We're the Gladiators. So my mascot of our high school. But the Gladiator, I mean, if you think about the Roman times and the Gladiators, that's what UFC is today.
More or less.
It really is. I mean, it's a battle. I mean, they're not killing each other, but it's a battle for death, really, is what you think about it.
Yeah, so. I mean, and gladiators really didn't fight to the death either.
No.
Because they were highly paid, highly trained, highly talented athletes. And G.M. Goodrich, going back to Daytona and Dale and his accident and all that transpired there, they didn't want to lose him. He was their cash cow. Dale, yeah. When we lost Dale, and Kevin Harvick came on board, and the sponsorship changed hands, and he inherited Dale's sponsorship, but like ancient Roman gladiators, their sponsors and their endorsers, they didn't really want them to die, because if they died,
right? You can almost say this, but I didn't mean to interrupt you. But you can almost say that gladiators were kind of the first form of slavery. Would you go on a list and say that, or I mean, am I getting too political?
Really?
It's really not. Like, they were slaves, but it's like slaves have been around since time immemorial. It's like there's no one singular point in history where there wasn't slaves and then there were slaves. It's like kind of like there have always been kind of slaves. Like, some gladiators were slaves, obviously, and they were, but some gladiators weren't slaves. Some were freedmen. Like Spartacus was a slave. He was a slave. He fought in the Colosseum, and he escaped and led a slave revolt. Yes, that's more or less historically true. And then other gladiators were legionnaires who participated in the arena, in the Colosseum, in between campaigns, one, to stay sharp, and two, to make money, so that they could afford to go out on campaign. Because unlike a modern soldier, an ancient Roman soldier was expected to fund his own campaigns. When he went out on campaign with his unit, the legionnaire was expected to bring all of his own food, bring his armor, bring his weapons, and then go out and fight for Rome. And then kind of like a modern, like more of a equivalent to a modern musician, like a small time musician, not like Metallica or Limp Bizkit, like where they have millions of dollars in sponsors and they're expected, they have contracts and all that. But like a mid-level musician is expected to bring all their own gear and have their own tech people. Maybe the venue might supply a tech guy, and like your tech guy and the venue's tech guy work with each other. And so then you bring your instruments, you bring all any extra sound equipment you might want. Obviously the venue will probably have some sound equipment, but if you want anything extra, you got to bring. So and then like if they have a recording contract, like the recording studio, like the RCA Records has a mid-level rock band signed to them. They're not big, but they're not small. They tour. They do a 50-state tour every year, and they play 90 shows. And so then at the end of the year, or at the end of the touring season, when they finish the tour, let's say they tour from February to November, and then they're going to take a month off, go just relax and recuperate, and then maybe they'll do an album. And next January they're going to start working on a new album. So in November they sit down with the record label, and the record label goes, okay, we fronted you $1 million, and then you sold this amount of tickets, which was $2.5 million. And then so now they've made theirs, so they take their $1 million out of that, and then they take any incidentals out of that, and then anything left over is what they get, is what you made for the year as the band, and then you divide that amongst how many ever band members you might have. So it's kind of the same thing. It's similar to the way the Roman soldier's contract would work. He would go and buy all the things he would need for a campaign season, and then at the end of the year he would be given his pay, and then at the next and then in between campaigns he could do various different things. A lot of them did go to the arena and the Coliseum and do.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to bands and stuff like that, and whether you're just starting out or you're, the Beatles, the Stones, all the great bands throughout the history of music, your roadie crew is your guys. Like, those are the guys that.
That's right.
They set up your mic stands. They set up your guitar stands. Your tech guys now. You have laser and lights and everything else too. I'm not the biggest Bret Michaels fan. I'm not a Poison fan. Never have been, and nothing against the band and nothing against people that like them.
I do.
But he had a hell of a show that I had. I went with my girlfriend to see him. And there was a band there called Tesla, which I didn't even know there was a band called Tesla.
Tesla's good.
I
like Tesla.
I got to see them live too, and
well, their first album released,
and I guess they're releasing a new album.
Really?
If you
still got
out now, but they said it was coming out soon. So
yeah,
for everybody out there that know that Tesla is still making music, yes.
I didn't realize that they were still putting out albums. No, their first release, Mechanical Resonance, is 10 out of 10, no skips album. Excellent album. And then
they were there, like I said, to watch the roadie crew disassemble, their stuff, and then Bret Michaels' crew come in and put up all his gear. It's so cool to watch the roadies, as they're called, the roadie crew,
right?
All that stuff apart. And but yeah, you're right. See, I didn't know anything about Gladiators with the campaign, so we're learning a new thing every day. I didn't know that the Lakers were originally called the Gems. So again, learning new things every day.
Yeah, I didn't realize that either. That's a fun little fact.
I mean, Gladiators. I mean, I thought the Roman Coliseum in that time, that was entertainment. That was where you went.
That was the happening place.
Is to go watch the Gladiators fight.
Yep. Or the big naval battle, the big mock naval battles that they put on. Whether
Gladiator movie, they had the naval battles. They showed you the naval battles inside the Coliseum. Yep.
And then whether it was one-on-one combat, or a lot of times you would have a slave fight a legionnaire to the death. Those fights would be to the death.
Correct.
But if it was legionnaire on legionnaire, those fights weren't usually to the death, because whether it was the army, the Roman army, and or a sponsor, like whatever, I have no idea. This is something that I don't know. Like, I know a little bit about this. I'm not like super well versed, but like I don't know who would, like maybe it would be like a senator would sponsor a gladiator to help him in his election campaign. I don't honestly know. I'm merely speculating again, which is the best kind of speculation. So like a gladiator generally, you generally don't want your gladiator, much like your UFC, much like Dana White wouldn't want Conor McGregor to die in the ring.
No,
Generally,
No.
you don't want your gladiator to die in the Coliseum.
Right. Correct. Yeah.
but they're brutal. Gladiators are brutal. They don't do things lightly.
Oh no, no doubt. I mean, if you are a squeamish person as far as you don't want to see blood and guts and shit, then don't watch those movies because they don't hesitate to show you that
Well,
shit.
blood and guts is my middle name, so
Yeah, I mean,
Right.
they don't hesitate. They don't hesitate to show you that stuff of what it was like back in the day. And then again, the only thing, well, the one of the major reasons that Rome fell was because of everything led to it. So all
Yeah.
the armies that were on the outside used those streets and roads to take down the Roman Empire.
Everything leads all those
Yeah, so that's what happened with Rome
Yeah.
is they got egotistical.
Mm.
Oh, well, we're gonna have all the roads lead to the Colosseum. Well, that's what legitimately ended up destroying your empire. Is it crumbled, and they were able to use those roads to then take advantage of the Romans, and
Yeah.
that's what all and
the
then
rise and fall of the Roman Empire.
Yep. So yeah,
They had a good run. They did have a good run.
They had most of what is now considered Asia and Europe pretty much conquered. I think they had a lot of
more or less, yeah.
a lot of those continents basically conquered in the early stages of history.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I said, if you want to go back and watch, if you're a fan of the Gladiator of Kramer of the Roman times, go see both of those movies because the second one I waited a long time to see, and I finally saw it. Like I said, Denzel Washington happens to be one of my favorite actors, so I waited to go see it. And the part that he plays in that movie is interesting. You got to watch right from the beginning because you'll see how his character plays itself out. It's one of those, the movies. Sometimes movies you have to pay attention to every second because if you miss it at the end of the movie or in the middle of, you're going to go, "How the hell did that happen?" Or "How did that guy turn out that way?"
Yeah,
well, because you missed it early on in the story.
Right.
That's when she turned. Oh crap! That's what happened. So once in a while, with even action movies, you got to watch everything down to a T to figure out how that happened. I mean, even me, I've watched a bunch of movies my whole life, and I'll go back and watch it now. I'm like, oh, that's how that happened. Okay,
right.
Yeah.
Never even realized that that's how that happened. Oh, okay, I got it. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's like definitely going back and then watching it once through and being like, oh, okay, I didn't see this, how this, and then you're going back and watching it again and seeing like, and now knowing how the story is going to unfold, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, that I see why how those things connect. It's kind of like the same thing as like going back and I can't really go back and watch stick and ball sports that I know the outcome of, like going back and like I can watching singular plays from a game from like 25, like Darren McCarty's Stanley Cup goal from 97.
Right. Yes.
When he undresses Tikkanen and buries it past Hextall. I think it was Tikkanen. It might have been somebody else, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
Ron Hextall.
Those are really cool. But like to sit and watch a 3-hour Red Wings game, whether it be a Stanley Cup Finals game or just a regular season game, like I can't really go back and watch old sports except for boxing. I've going back and watching old boxing. Yeah, I can do that all day. Like I don't know why I can't watch Bengals Browns from 1993. It's like this is just, or even like 2012 Patriots Ravens game. like it just doesn't hit the same way now that I know
No.
the outcome and all that. But going back and watching old boxing, especially from like the 80s and 90s, like especially ones that I haven't seen, that's fun. I can get down with some old boxing or wrestling, like going back and watching old wrestling matches.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, I would have to say, but I agree with you because I mean, I have the Game 7 DVD when the Lightning won their first Stanley Cup against Calgary. That whole game
Yeah.
was on DVD. And I don't want to watch it all the way through. I just want to see them score their goals. I want to see Fedotenko score goals. And that's all.
Yeah.
And I know
And
Craig
then skate the cup. Yeah.
Conroy won it. And then to see Dave Anderchuk raise the cup after so
Yeah.
many people playing. I was watching a Watch Mojo the other day on YouTube talking about the top 30 moments in Stanley Cup history, and number 30 was actually Ray Bourque. Ray Bourque lifting the cup, playing, with the Bruins. What was it, 22 years with Boston?
Yeah.
Colorado, they win the cup, and Joe Sakic grabs the cup from Bettman, but then immediately hands the cup to him. Hey, you've waited this long. Ray, you come on, man. You've waited this long. You're not the captain. We know that, but you've waited 22 years to touch this thing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And skate with it. Take it. Take as long as you want with it because
much to my dismay,
a lot of guys in their careers don't get a chance to even sniff that damn thing, let alone 22 years of you watching everyone else skate with that thing, and finally you get to hold it. I do like Rob Brendamore's reaction when Carolina won the cup, him grabbing the cup and then lifting it up. I'm like, how does that not give you 2006 vibes when he was the captain, when they won their cup in Carolina? How does that not give you goosebumps to see him lift that cup again like a player would? It's so cool to see him do that. So
I may be biased here, and I understand that, but I think one of the greatest Stanley Cup raising moments would be in 2002 when Bowman put his skates back on one last time and skated the cup.
That's cool. Oh yeah. Yeah. Well, he one of the greatest hockey coaches ever. I can't say how you can't say he's not one or maybe two all time on the coach list. I mean,
I don't know how you put anybody ahead of him.
I don't know how you put anybody above him. Actually, now that I think about it, how maybe above him?
Do you say Jack Adams? Maybe.
Maybe.
I mean, but I think for modern coaches, there's nobody better.
Oh no, nobody.
There's nobody who did.
No.
There's nobody who did more to change the way the game is played and to evolve with the game and change his. Like I look at him like Bill Belichick, and constantly being able to evolve and change with the game as the game changed.
But
never so many coaches over the years. You win your first Dan Bylsma in Pittsburgh. He wins a cup and he thinks he's got it all figured out, and 3 years later he's fired.
Yeah.
And so many coaches John Harbaugh in Baltimore. He won that cup. He won that Super Bowl, and he rode that Super Bowl for a decade and a half. And now he's in New York. So we'll have to see how that plays out in New York. So many coaches just don't have that ability to continue. It's not reinventing themselves. It's evolving with the changing of the game.
Correct.
Like Nick Saban, you're talking about Nick Saban and his greatness and whether and he didn't if a player wins the NFL, that was cool, that was great, and congratulations, and you come back and say hi anytime you want, and he was on to the next kid because that next kid wasn't because Derrick Henry or AJ McCarron or Jalen Hurts or the list goes on,
Right.
Trent Richardson,
Tua,
Devontae Smith, all those great players that came and win at Alabama were just that. Great players who came and win. the greatest coaches of all time are the coaches that don't get hung up on one player or one system or one time period. And some coaches just can't. They just can't evolve. They have a mindset, not for want of a good example of a guy who doesn't evolve and has never evolved and somehow still wins. And then I constantly scratch my head at is he was on the bench in just this last week. I cannot think of his name. In Las Vegas. Can see his stupid
John
face.
Tortorella.
Yeah, John Tortorella. Yeah, he's one of the few examples of a guy who's never evolved, never changed his philosophy. It still does it like it's 1982, and will always do it like it's 1982, and somehow he gets results for like a year and a half.
Mm-hmm.
It's like 120 games. He'll get 120 games of greatness out of a team, and then they just tune him out, and he gets fired yet again.
Yeah, I mean, he was our head coach in 2004 when we won the Cup here in Tampa.
Yep. He was the head coach in New York when they went to the Cup.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
He had some good teams in Philly.
The thing I told you guys earlier, that video of all the Stanley Cup, once it hit 1993, it was American flags all the way until now. It was like, wow, there goes all the Canadian flags. And then 93, it's like, whoop, stop. And now it's all American flag since 93. So it's like, when is because, the Knicks, obviously 53 years between championships. Sooner or later, the Stanley Cup is going to go to a Canadian franchise. It's going to, this long streak of American franchises winning the Stanley Cup
years
is going to end. It's going to end down the
eventually
road. So, I mean, I think we talked about that last week. I don't really know if any of the teams as of right now, maybe Montreal being how young they are,
Montreal
but outside of them, I don't really know anyone else that would make a run right now.
But we talked about that last week. Everybody seems to be regressing to the mean. Like Edmonton came back, Colorado came back. Edmonton, Ottawa. Ottawa underperformed.
Correct.
Detroit underperformed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Vancouver's a dumpster fire. Calgary's a dumpster fire. Winnipeg's a dumpster fire.
Yeah.
Toronto is somewhere between a dumpster fire and an absolute disaster.
Yeah, that Toronto is on the verge of that franchise collapsing and starting over again. Like they had Matthews and Marner, which I know now he's in Las Vegas,
right?
And Jonathan Toews, who was originally in with the Islanders. That's who he was drafted by in that draft. I think he was drafted the same year that Stamkos got drafted. I could be wrong, but I think that was that draft that Stamkos was taken in. So it comes down to that. So I mean, I think Toronto's going to be in the bottom. I think they promoted their AHL coach to be their next head coach. I was watching, haven't got a chance to watch Steve Dangle yet. Because anytime I go to Leafs stuff, I always watch Steve. Because Steve will tell you how he feels, no matter what. He will tell you the truth of how he feels, what the Maple Leafs do as an organization. So, there's a bunch of guys out there. Again, I watch Utri about a bunch of stuff because obviously he's a Pittsburgh guy. Steelers, Pirates, Flyers, or Penguins, excuse me. But yeah, I mean, he's a true, I was watching Tom Grossi. I don't even know if you know who he is. He's a Packer. He's the Green Bay Packers. And he's doing a tour right now, 30 cities in 30 days. In Tampa at Riveters, which Riveters is next to one of the most popular strip clubs in Tampa. That would be 2001 Odyssey on Dale and Avery, where the stadium, James Stadium, is at. But anyway, every team's got to go through the rebuild, the restructuring of getting everybody gone, starting with your prospects or minor leaguers, whatever you want to call them. And you have years where you're going to struggle. You're going to have years where it's not going to be great. And you're not going to make the playoffs. And you're going to lose. People are going to be pissed. But that's the way the sports world is. You can't stay good forever. It just doesn't happen that way. You can't stay good forever. So, because I read an article today about the Knicks, about how many guys are free agents, how many guys are going to want extensions now that they won a championship. James, I'm not going to be rolling out the welcome wagon to everybody. Somebody's got to go. Somebody's got to. Someone's got to leave it. So,
somebody ain't getting paid.
Somebody's not getting paid.
Right.
I mean, he's not Steve Cohen who can just roll out the checkbook and go, let me sign this guy.
Uncle Steve.
That's not working either for the Mets. So that shows you too that buying all the high price athletes doesn't mean you're going to win. Doesn't mean you have to have 25 guys that will work together to get a common goal. That's what it is. You don't have to have the best 25 guys. You just got to have 25 guys that believe in one, and that's the win. If you can find the right manager or captain of the boat to steer them in the right direction, you got it. You got a good manager, you're having a good baseball team. If you don't, your team's going to suck, and they're horrible.
So. And suck.
Correct.
2 games under 500.
Right there.
Oh yeah.
Sounds good. All right.
You talk about your show before we get off.
All right. Enhanced Sports Show will roll on Saturday, 4 to 6 p.m. Eastern Time. Number to call is 512-543-4662. And you know we're going to be discussing the NHL NBA Finals, especially with my Knicks winning the championship. Yes. We'll also briefly discuss the USL final. Sorry, guys. I had to do that. I'm sorry. College World Series begins on Saturday, so we'll take care of that. Get your predictions for that. The U.S. Open Golf Championship, which will be in the third round by the time I get the show on. We'll have a recap of UFC 250 as well, because that was a big event. Mm-hmm. And don't be surprised, though, if they never do that again, because they probably won't. WNBA as well, Major League Baseball. And I think it's all the major events. Of course, also have your thoughts and comments. This day in sports history, the ridiculous sign of the week, sports trivia. It's our dads and grads show, and it has special meaning this year because my niece has graduated junior high school just a few hours ago.
Congratulations!
So, yes, she's all grown up now. The feel good story of the week, and we'll be paying tribute to my late co-host Steve Davidson on Saturday as well. So if anybody has time to want to drop in to give your thoughts, I know some of you guys didn't get a chance to talk to him, but if you want to drop a comment in, feel free. Once again, the number is 512. Oh, and of course, World Cup Soccer. The number is 512-543-4662. Again, 512-543-4662. Don't forget to like and share the page. And remember, we're on Facebook Live. And happy Father's Day, too.
I was just about to say happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, whether you are here in person or you are here in heaven. So yes, happy Father's Day to everyone out there who is celebrating. Whether you're a human dad or like me, I'm a fur baby dad, so I have a fur baby that I take care of. So
or an AI, no. Oh, okay.
Or AI, yeah, you could do that as well. But I want to thank these two guys for making this day. Well, again, guys, sorry about the coughing spell there. I will be completely over this cold by next Thursday, but we'll be back next Thursday, guys, at 8:00 again. I think we're gonna get Nicole probably in a couple weeks, if my math would serve me correctly. I'll try to get her the week after the tournament, probably like the first week of July. We'll get her or the 4th of July. But
musical guest. No.
Yeah. Again, before we go, thanks again to our men and women of our armed services and our first responders. Thank you for doing what you do. We would not be able to do what we do if you guys were not there doing what you're doing. Again, we'll be back again next Thursday, 8:00 p.m. here on YouTube. If you get on the video, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, as it will be great for you to do that. Until then, I am the Sportster Bradley Walker. This is the Walker Report. We are part of NGSE Sports. Remember the website, it's ngsesports.com for all your current sports content. Until next Thursday, happy Father's Day to everybody. Peace.
Good night, folks. All right, let me get out of here.